My name's Maggie Fisher. I work in Tyler County as a TIS and webmaster. And I've got this quick poster presentation to share with you about QR codes and how to share digital information. During remote learning, we were trying to figure out how can we send across information in a quick way, but you don't have to worry about email addresses or sending links or any of that. QR codes are great because if you have a smartphone, an iPad, these codes can be scanned quickly with your phone. Most or all iPads, all iPhones have a QR code or QR code scanner built in to your camera. In my experience, most Android phones will scan QR codes without a problem. There are QR code scanner apps that you can get if you struggle with your camera. My suggestion is before you go that route, ask somebody who has a phone or a tablet that's similar to yours, because anymore, most updates have included QR code scanners as part of the base package of your device. Interesting kind of backstory on QR codes. They were started in the 80s and 90s, or 80s, I believe, in Japanese card manufacturing plants, and it was a way that they transmitted information. QR codes are just a form of a barcode, but because of the formulation of the black and white space, they can carry more data. So what I have here, if you look at the poster, first of all, there's a link in the chat. And before we leave today, make sure that you click on that. It has resources for all of my presentations for this week. And this is an 8.5 by 11 full color printable. You guys are welcome to use this in your counties, on your websites, with your teachers, anywhere that you need it. It's out there for you all to use. The QR codes on the right all go to fake places, except the URL goes to, I think, Teachers Pay Teachers or some teacher-friendly website. But all of these other ones go to fake information, so they're great for practice. What I love about QR codes is that you can transmit any kind of information, including Wi-Fi passwords. So if you are somebody who has people over a lot and you want to put your Wi-Fi password up on a QR code, you absolutely can. So somebody can come over to your house, take their phone, open up their camera app, scan the QR code, and it automatically joins them to the network. QR codes can be really powerful like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply show you one of my favorite QR code generator websites. There are a lot of free ones out there. And I'm going to show you what all these have the capability of doing. The V card is your information, is your contact information. So if you don't have business cards yet, you want to make yourself one, you can create your contact information and put it with a QR code so that somebody can take their phone, scan that QR code. It adds your contact information to their phone. Text is excellent for self-checking worksheets. If you are a teacher, you have a math worksheet, and I complete my answer, or I complete my work and I want to know the answer. I take my iPad, I scan that code, and the text just pops up on my screen with the answer. Email will generate a code that opens up the mail app and starts an email to whatever address you put in there. The nice thing about this email QR code is that you can pre-populate a blank or a stock email where somebody just fills in their information. And then SMS is a text. That is, if you have some kind of, if you have texting, this is not necessarily for school, but maybe for adults, for networking, you want somebody to send you a text that says, I'm interested in learning more about your service. You can just have them scan that. It automatically starts that conversation in their text, in their messages. So let me switch my screen. All right, so if you just do a quick Google search for QR code generator, you'll see that you have lots of options. Some of them are ad-based, but they're all free, and they have different They have different functionality. There are some that make cutesy little QR codes. This is not my favorite one, but I will show it to you. This is not my favorite one because you have a second step of downloading the QR code. You have to click that download. But if you look at all the options, there's URL, vCard, text, email, SMS, there's the Wi-Fi network, Bitcoin, Twitter, Facebook, PDF, MP3, app stores, and images. So your functionality is really great that is QRCodeGenerator.com. This one is called the QR Code Generator. And this is my personal favorite because it's super easy. It's super simple. And when I am teaching people how to use QR codes, I want to keep it as simple as possible. So it's as easy as using these options at the top of your screen. You can use text, URL, contact information, phone, or SMS, which is text message. So I'm going to make a worksheet that's self-checking for students. And I'm going to say, this is the answer. That's the text that will pop up on the screen. Here, and then as I typed, you saw that this QR code automatically generated. It's ready to go. If I'm on a computer, I can right click, I can save my image, or I can copy my image, and then I can print it and share it. I can send that out. Absolutely, I can put this link in there. Guys, and this is just a reminder too that there are multiple QR code generators. This just happens to be the one that I prefer using. It might have been the very first one that I used. I couldn't quite tell you. All right, so I'm going to show you. So this QR code, I'm going to open up my phone. So here's my phone. I have opened up my camera, and really, so my screen is shared here, and I was able to scan that QR code. It even opened up from pretty far away. QR codes do not need to be large to work. So I'm going to scan that, and if you guys can see, I know it's backwards, but it just popped up at the top that said, this is the answer. There's my text. That works on student iPads. It works on your phone. That's an example of the text. That's about all I have to share with you. I could go through each of these, but in my mind, for the most part, QR codes, you just have to play with them. You know that when you have a website like this, a QR code generator, you have to select what kind of content you want to share. You type in the information, and then your job is to share that QR code. QR codes do not need to be printed full screen. They can be very small and still transmit the information. Small, even on a business card, to transmit your contact information even. Before we go, have any of you here ever used QR codes? Do you have a cool way of using codes that has been useful for you all? And Brian, I think that's why, like this one, the QR code generator, this green one that I use, I think it's super simple. And I think I had to go to just plain old, and I'll drop that link in there too. This is the other one. QR code generator. It's just a different free option. And this is where Wi-Fi, and you can put the network name. That's where you type in the network name and then the password. The tech director and I had talked about maybe offering a guest Wi-Fi network here at our school, and then just putting it up with QR codes. Oh, I love that with your online resume. That's a fantastic idea that you could put that on. You could put that on just a business card and you could have a really cool multimedia resume, which is something that a lot of us do now. With PDFs, you can put links to PDFs to your students or for your teachers with information. Oh, that's a good idea. I know that I've talked to Mark Moore a couple times. We talked about QR codes, and they are very useful when you are trying to do inventory, when you're trying to keep track of information. All right. Well, I really appreciate your guys' time. Like I said before, don't forget to grab that link from the chat. It has all of the resources, and I hope that you guys can use the QR code poster. If you weren't in my previous session about using or creating multi-page PDFs, that file is in there too. You guys have a great afternoon, and I'll see some of you in other sessions later.